What's up everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Mike Versborough and today we're talking about everyday carry bags, also known as EDC bags, and we're just going to jump right into this. I'm going to work from my left, your right, and start going one by one of all the essential items that I like to bring along with me. Whether I'm traveling or driving somewhere, I'd like to have this bag with me at all times. Whether it's for photography or not, this has some basic survival essentials, so we're going to go over everything right now. And the first thing that we have is a utility tool. This thing is a great piece of equipment to carry around with you. It has knives, it has little screwdrivers, things that you probably will never even need to use. And believe it or not, it has an Allen key that fits my tripod leg, so it's a great tool for me to have. And you might want to look into carrying one with you as well. Next up is gaffer's tape. Now this is great for attaching things to your tripod, and it's also good for taping down your focus ring. You might be asking, why would you want to do that? Well, sometimes people struggle to focus at night, so they'll focus at infinity during the day, and then they'll tape it down with gaffer's tape, and that way come nightfall they can just start shooting and they don't have to worry about refocusing their lens. So that's a good thing to carry along with you. I also like to bring along this little compass. Now these things are great because they have a little pin on them which could be attached to the outside of your bag or inside your EDC bag. I like to put them on pretty much all my hiking bags, and that way I have my bearings and I know which way I'm oriented, especially if you're in a rural area and your cell phone doesn't work and you want to know which way is north, south, east, or west without using your cell phone compass. This is a great alternative. It also helps me when locating the Milky Way. If I know I have to face southeast, I can just check it on here and I'm good to go. I have a Flint Starter. This is a great way to produce a fire. It makes sparks when you scrape the two pieces together. And I like to have two ways to create a fire. First, I'll bring a lighter, but just in case that lighter fails on me, maybe it's out of fluid, maybe it got wet and the flint sparks won't work, I like to bring one of these along with me, that way I have a backup. We have some AAA batteries, I have headlamps, and I also have some photography gear that run off of AAA batteries, so it's good to have some spares. Zip ties, another great way to attach things to your tripod or to fix your backpack in a pinch. Maybe you broke a strap and you need to zip tie it together just to hold it temporarily. This is a great thing to have. Up next is a raincoat. This is a great way to protect yourself and your gear from a storm that was unexpected. You know, you want to stay dry, especially if you're in like a mountain area and the temperatures drop at night. The last thing you want to do is get hypothermia, so bring a raincoat and be prepared. And the last thing on the left side of my EDC pack is this emergency blanket. Now these things are small, lightweight, and they're really thin, but they radiate heat. So it looks like it might not do that much, but it's better than nothing. It'll help protect you from the elements. You could use this to collect water from rainfall, and it's small, lightweight, and cheap, so you might as well bring it along with you. Jumping over to the right side, we have a flashlight that has multiple settings. And what I like about this light is it has a little dome, so I can actually use this for light painting when I'm doing night photography. So it's a really cool feature that they gave me, this little dome with this light. And what's also pretty sweet with this light is it has a clip that is reversible, so I can actually attach it to the brim of my hat. Now for whatever reason, if I need both of my hands free, I could just put this on the brim of my hat and I'm good to go. Next up is just a basic lighter, or you could get a Zippo if you want to step it up a notch. You know, the Zippo is harder to have the wind blow out, so they're pretty good to have. Fire is arguably one of the most essential items that you could have in a survival situation. It'll help you boil water, scare away predators, keep yourself warm, and it's just an overall morale booster. So always have multiple ways to create fire. You'll never know until you're in an emergency situation how valuable fire is. And next up, we have some basic paracord, which is great for attaching items to your backpack. It's also great for fixing your backpack straps if it breaks. And if you want to lower a light into a canyon to get a shot, or maybe dangle a light over something, it's good to have paracord with you and you can make that happen. I also carry around AA batteries for other photography gear and some lighting situations. Pain relief. It's good to have Tylenol or Aleve. You never know if you're running a fever, if you are doing a strenuous hike and you have the aches and pains. That's just good to carry a little travel pack of these with you. Next, in my side pouch, I have some dude wipes. I know it sounds silly, but you'll be thanking your butt later if you have these things. I also like to bring along hand warmers, which are obviously great for cold weather situations for not only your hands and feet, but you could use these to help prevent dew from forming on your lens. If you're doing star trails or time lapse at night, sometimes when the temperatures change, it creates dew on the front element of your lens, which will ruin your pictures. So it's good to carry these along with you, and you would strap that to your lens and it helps warm it up and prevent the dew from forming. So hand warmers are always in my bag. And lastly, I have assorted size bandages and a gauze pad in case you scrape up your knee or elbow really bad on a fall. It's good to have these, or maybe you come across another hiker that's injured. So be prepared with some basic bandages. And then on the front of my EDC pack, I like to carry along with me an eye cover and some earplugs. On one of my first road trips, I stayed at this really sleazy hotel and people kept me up all night, and I had to drive 12 hours the next day on virtually zero sleep. So ever since then, I always carry around earplugs, and I also bring an eye cover as well, especially if I'm flying. I try and get as much sleep as I can on the plane, that way I could focus on photography when I land. So these are great items to always carry along with you. You never know when you're gonna want some shut-eye. All right, so that wraps up the EDC pack, but there's some other cool items I just want to talk about really quick. So let's jump into that. First up is a down jacket. Now, what I like about down jackets are they're super compressible like this one here, but they're extremely warm. Now, there is one bad thing with them that you have to take in consideration is you don't want to get them wet. So if you get stuck in a rainstorm, you're going to lose all that heating retention that these jackets have. And that's why I recommend bringing a raincoat or a poncho, and that way you can protect your down jacket and stay nice and warm. So I highly recommend getting a down jacket. I bring them when I'm hiking, when I'm flying. It's an essential item that I like to have. Next up is a bivy sack. It's pretty much like the emergency blanket, but a little bit better. It's an actual sack that you would put yourself in like a sleeping bag. It's not insulated like a sleeping bag, but it will help protect yourself in an emergency situation. But it is super tiny and lightweight, and if you have this while wearing a down jacket, you would stay pretty warm, again, for an emergency situation. Hand sanitizer, obviously self-explanatory, and this one has a clip so I can hang it from my bag, so bring that with me. I also came across these pretty cool bracelets which you could either wear or you could strap it to your bag. This particular one is wrapped in paracord, and underneath it, it has a saw that you could use for firewood. So that's pretty cool. And then this guy right here has a Flint Starter as well and a compass. So pretty neat, lightweight, could strap them anywhere. And last but certainly not least is my CRKT knife. This thing is pretty badass. It has a point at the bottom so I could break my car window, you know, if I had to get out in an emergency. And it's good to have a knife just to cut paracord or to cut straps. If you need to protect yourself, I always carry around some form of knife. This one time I was in a rural area and this dog started charging me, and fortunately it stopped about 5 feet in front of me. I thought it was gonna attack me. Luckily, I had a knife just in case if I had to defend myself, I could have done something. But had I not had anything, I was at the mercy of that animal, and who knows what would have happened. So ever since then, I like to keep a knife on me for emergency situations. You never know what could happen. And as I said in the beginning of this video, I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. And I hope you guys feel that same way. So thanks for watching, and if you have any items that you'd like to bring on your journey, leave them in the comment section below so others could see. And I'll also leave a list of all the items that I talked about in the description. Please click those links, it really helps me out. Also, please like and subscribe, and I will catch you guys next time. Bye.